Welcome back to the Gen Z Marketer podcast, where we have marketing conversations and everything in between. Here we talk about marketing, branding, e commerce, and the power of integrated marketing communication. I'm your host, Jamia O'Malley, a strategist passionate and specializing in branding and marketing for e commerce. I previously shared with you the key ideas in The Brand Gap by Marty Neumeier and their importance in branding and marketing. Now, let's talk about The Brand Flip, which is also a book by Marty Neumeier. And this time, we'll look at how branding and marketing affects customers. Before we discuss the book, please support my show by following the podcast to get notified on the latest uploads. Now, let's talk about some of my favorite quotes and ideas from the book, and let's digest its relevance in branding and marketing. Idea number one: today's marketers are fully invested in customer experience. They still talk about features and benefits, but experience has become the goal, the game, and the playing field. And of course, I think this quote is already straightforward. I don't think we need to discuss this much more because we all know now at this point that customer experience is the goal, is the thing that we always think about. Think about the different touch points of the customers and how all of those touch points affect the full customer experience, because the customer experience now can make or break your brand. Idea number two: today's customers want more than products, more than features, more than benefits, even more than experiences. They want meaning. They want a sense of belonging. They want creative control over their life stories. And they're likely to assemble those stories from all the elements they find around them, including products, services, and brands. Okay, this is something very, very interesting that we need to, of course, we're expanding the idea from the first quote, which is we talk about the importance of customer experience. And now in this quote, we're talking about the importance of meaning and sense of belonging, as well as the creative control over the life stories of customers. This concept is, I think, very common now, especially for Gen Z, because research or even brands and marketers are now fully aware or think that Gen Z has no loyalty, because what they do is they look at different brands and support the brands that they think would help them create their own identity. I think this idea is also close to that. That now customers look at meaning or what they want, or they want that sense of belonging to or control over the life, and they will look at different brands to do that. So not just the customer experience, that's not the only thing we'll look at. We also look at the meaning or the stories that the customers have. We need to think about where they are at their lives and what they want out of it, and how do we help them get to what they want or be who they want to be. Third idea from the book: branding takes a different approach. It assumes that customers are more valuable over time than as one off transactions. It considers that they will pay more for a unique product than a generic one. And it understands that customers have aspirations beyond getting a low price on this particular product or service. So, long story short for this idea is that with branding, you recognize that customers are looking for value. And as a brand, you want to be valuable as well, so that you can meet those values. You want to be relevant or relatable to them based on those values or ideas. It's not just one-off transaction. It's a long-term relationship. It's a building a long-term relationship. Next idea from the book. Any effort to get customers is marketing. Any effort to get customers and keep them is branding. For companies with vision, branding is the more strategic path. Okay. We talked about this previously already, how some businesses do not have brands or branding. And this quote just reminds us why you need to have branding, why you can't just have marketing, because any effort to get customers is marketing. So your promos, you know, this is more of a one off thing, getting them to convert, getting them to pay for your product or services. That's marketing. That's great. You get income. But if you want to get customers and keep them, if you want them to come back to you, if you want them to talk about you, that's branding. And for companies with vision, branding is the more strategic fact. Okay, yes. Because branding is not is not just like a concept and whatnot. It's also strategy. Because that's how you build lifetime or long time value. With vision, with your brand vision, you're able to set goals on where you want to be. How are you going to get there? Who you want your customers to see you as? How do you want to do that? Brands or businesses that want to be successful, that want to be remembered, that want to be revered, that want to be unique, differentiated, those are the ones with branding. So if you want to be that brand or you want to have that kind of brand, you once again, I'm going to say this, you work on branding, then you do your marketing, your PR, your advertising, so on and so forth. Next idea from the book. In the new customer-centric marketplace, the shoe is on the other hoof. Who we are is much less important than who they are. Customer identity, not company identity, is the secret to building a flipped brand. It's not enough to find out who your customers are. You need to help them become the people they want to be. I don't think I need to add anything else to this because this quote is pretty straightforward already. So let's go to the next idea. Instead of thinking about how to improve and position your products, think about how to improve and position your customers. They're the ones who will fight for your success. Exactly. This idea, as we said, or as we already talked about in the previous ideas, you need to think about your customers. When you have a brand identity or your branding strategy is successful, it resonates with your customers, they will be the ones who will be your brand advocates, your brand evangelists. They will talk about you, they will spread the word about your brand. They will attract like minded individuals who would be interested in your brand and eventually convert. So branding is some sort of investment as well if you look at it that way. When you have your brand advocates, they will defend you. They will support you when they think that you're worth talking about. So you need to make sure you're also worth talking about. Next key idea from the brand flip. Your purpose should be aimed squarely at your customers now and forever. You can change your mission, switch your market, shift your strategy, redesign your products, revise your taglines. But you should never change your purpose. It's the reason you exist, your true north. Okay, let's digest that. Purpose is the one thing that does not change with your brand. You can change everything else except for your purpose. And I completely agree with this. Now, why is that? Your purpose is why you do things, is why you do what you do, is your motivation in running your business. The more mission changes, like your mission on how you do your purpose can change because times change. Switch your market. And I agree with that because markets change, people grow old, people evolve. Shift your strategy, yes, because technologies are developing, things come and go. Redesign your products, yes, because innovation is key. Revise your taglines, of course, because change is constant. But never change your purpose. I really think that your purpose is, as what they said, your true north. It's your compass. It's your guide. It's the main thing about you. It's your core. It's your essence. So you don't change it no matter what. You help it guide you in deciding what your mission is, who your market is, or what your strategy is, what products you'd have. You let it guide you. So this is really important, and I think we shouldn't really forget this because not just even for brands or marketing, even as people, we should always think about our purpose. Next idea from the book: when you align your purpose with your customer's identity, you get something called fit. Fit lets your customers know they've found the real deal, the genuine article, the honest to goodness best company ever. So, of course, fit, market fit, brand fit is important. That's why you do your research before you come up with your branding, your marketing, and strategy, all of your strategies. You look for fit, you identify a fit in the market. Next idea from the book is about differentiation. And they think that differentiation is the process of staking out a market position that you can own and defend. When your offering is unique and compelling enough, you don't need to compete on price. Exactly. I don't think I need to elaborate on this much more because differentiation or identifying your differentiation is identifying your own niche or category that you own. It's not about going where your competitor is. It's about creating your own so that you don't have a competitor. Next idea from the book is about onlyness. And onlyness, according to them, allows you to start small by dominating a niche and growing it, or growing with it over time. Multiply and conquer. Increase your dominance by giving your tribe the easily understood difference it needs to attract more like minded customers. With the right differentiator, you can win a kind of monopoly, a significant competitive advantage in your category. I don't think I need to elaborate on this much more, but I do want to talk about how I think this is one of the key strategies that some brands do that I think are effective if you want to succeed. You need to identify a certain niche or certain place in the market that you want to compete in and grow in. You can monopolize or you can create your own competitive advantage or niche with the right branding strategy. Last concept from the book that I really, really want to share also with you is about story framing. And they define story framing as the discipline of building a structure that lets customers create their own narratives. It provides the boundaries that keep the story contained, like the edges of a jigsaw puzzle. The basic framework includes the POV of the company, or its purpose, onlyness, and values, plus the IAM of the customer, personal identity, customer aims, and tribal mores. Out of the framework contains a range of encounters or touch points through which customers can find personal meaning and growth. So I think this quote is also pretty straightforward. It basically talks about how the brand or how the brand's purpose, onlyness, and values play into the story or the personal identity, aims, and tribal mores of the customer. So this is basically us. How do we change their lives? How do we contribute to their personal stories? How do we help them become who they want to be? That's why we think of the story or the brand story, or what we call it, the brand story framework. That's why it's relevant. It's not about some brands or businesses think that the brand story framework or the brand story is about your company's story, is about, no, it's not that. It's not about you, as we said it again and again earlier. It's not about you, it's not about your customer. And that's what the brand story framework is for. Now that wraps up this episode. So did you enjoy this quick analysis on brand flip? What are your favorite quotes from brand flip if you've read it? And what book would you like me to discuss next? So leave me a message at the Gen Z Marketer on Facebook, at Gen Z MKT on Instagram, and at www.genzmkt.com, which are all linked in the description.